Hey there guys, how are we doing today? Here is another episode of the R&C Growth Lab. I am Richard from that team.
And I am Carolyn.
There you go, she is the C and I am the R. So today we are going to talk to you about narrowing your niche. Yes, bringing it right in. There's a lot to it, so let's get right on it. So, where do we begin with it? This is the thing, because there's so many things that people, get wrong with running a business, and they try to do too many things, which creates a problem because they're thinning the market. It was a bit like the video that I put up the other day, with the elastic band, and your market is nice and tight. As soon as you start doing this with it, the elastic band's getting bigger and bigger. All of a sudden, you've got all this to concentrate on, and all this to market to, and all this to spend money on with advertising, because which market are you going to? And you've got to narrow it down, because the thing is, if you narrow it down, you can become the expert in your field. That's the thing with it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the elastic band is a really good symbol of everything that happens when you don't narrow your niche down. The elastic band can be a symbol of your stress levels.
Overstretching.
So you're stretching yourself to the point where it could easily snap. It's getting to that point where you can just boom, and it's all, all of these extra bits that you think you're going to get in, it doesn't work like that. So you've got to really hone in on things that you really enjoy doing. And it's got to make you money.
It's got to make money, yeah, absolutely.
But pick something that you really like doing. If you don't like detailing interiors, you don't like scraping up the sticky sweeps, don't do it. Concentrate on making the outside shiny. Concentrate on things that you really like to do. Some people really like doing
interiors,
the interiors, and they hate doing the bodywork because
some say there's more money on the interior.
Yeah, exactly.
Some say there's more money on an interior than there is on the bodywork.
Because not many other people want to do that.
But again, you see, people always have this sort of saying, which I think is totally wrong: mum wagon. What about the dad wagons, the granddad wagon, the grandma wagon? Got to think about that, guys. It's not all mum wagons. So you're sort of almost being stereotypical of the mum wagon. So you've got to be very broad-minded. So again, that gives you a little bit of a clue there. You're narrowing it down to mum wagon, and you forgot about all the others, the dad wagons, the grandpa wagons, the grandma wagons. You forgot about all of those other wagons because all you're focusing on is the mum wagon.
Yeah, you could be too blinkered sometimes. Look,
absolutely.
So that if you narrow down your niche into something you really like doing, but then when you really think about it, you can expand in that niche.
Yeah, absolutely.
That niche can expand into areas that you didn't really think of before.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things are going to help. You've got to look out. Customers are going to leave you clues of what niche you're going to go down. Because if you actually do your market research correctly with your clients, they're going to leave you messages. It's just like very successful people. Successful people leave you clues to how to become successful yourself. Just look around you. And the only way you're going to do that is to find out how to become successful like other successful entrepreneurs, millionaires, billionaires. No matter what it is, they will leave you clues. You've got to put time in. You've got to read books. You've got to do this. You've got to listen to podcasts. This is giving you success clues. You're listening to this because you want a clue. If you get one snippet, like Carolyn said before on podcast,
just a tiny thing.
One tiny thing from just, even if we've got 1,000 videos out there, if you get one thing from one of them videos, our job is done. You've got something out of them that is going to help you run your business. And that's the thing with it. People think too broadly with the business. So, for argument's sake, we've got some examples here on a sheet. We've got all sorts of other things we're going to look at. But let's have a look at this here. Broad versus a niche example. And this is to do with the fitness industry. I'm just giving you that example. Our sessions that we do are specific to detailing and leather restoration. Notice how we've narrowed the niche down, guys. I know we're going to talk about this, but I'm going to give you this as a scenario as to how people become too broad. So, fitness. Let's just talk about this. Let's just hit on a nerve here. Fitness. I help people get fit and lose weight. Sounds like a great caption. Sounds like a great one-liner.
Does that fit you?
For an advert, you know.
Yeah.
Does it fit you? Who does it fit? But the thing is, let's look at the niche here, shall we? I help busy mums rebuild strength and energy in just 20 minutes a day without leaving the house. Now that's really narrowing the niche, isn't it? Because first of all, they don't have to leave the house. You're, targeting to a mum, so she can still deal with kids at home or walk pets or whatever. Still do homework if she's a work-at-home mum. Still do her office work if that is a work-at-home mum running a business from home. She can still do that, but it's 20 minutes to rebuild, strength and energy at home. 20 minutes a day. You've really narrowed that niche down to a nice area that's going to bring you a lot of money, because that person will probably have a network of other work-at-home mums. She is going to tell them, this lady, this man, phenomenal. 20 minutes a day, it's all it takes. Just look at me, guys. Woohoo! You can do this. It's.
Yeah. But if that mum had have read that first piece that says I help people get fit and lose weight, she wouldn't respond to that.
Well, no, because necessarily she might not need to lose weight. This is the thing.
She wouldn't be like, that's exactly what I need to do. But when you're more descriptive in the scenario that you're putting in their heads,
message,
they can fit themselves straight into that and be like, that's exactly what I
me.
need.
So you need so again, this narrowing niche also comes into advertising, which we're going to do. Another one that we're going to do is another one called elevator pitches. We're going to talk to you extensively about elevator pitches, because your elevator pitch, I listen to some people with elevator pitches and they're rambling on for about 3 minutes. It's not an elevator pitch, it's a bloody story.
I think there's two types of people with that. There's the person where you'd say, what's your elevator pitch? And they'd be like,
yeah, the freeze. Yeah, completely freeze.
Well, I do detail. I make people's cars shiny.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's it. But then on the other hand, you'll get the guy. If someone asks you, for example, you'll get the story. You'll get the insights into everything, and it could go. You'd need a 100-floor building. Exactly. To go up in your elevator.
So obviously, something like with leather repair company, for argument's sake, let me just sort of try to run something off the mill here. We are the leather repair company. We are the world's biggest and best known leather repair and restoration company to supply leather care products to the professional industry, along with a DIY network of solutions for the general public. As well as franchising, training, we have everything for the end user and solutions for all to enjoy. Yeah, we kept it quite short and neat. It's not perfect. I do have one. I haven't recited it. I've got to keep reciting it. We've got a new one that we've come out with. But that was just me running off the top of my head. You don't want to go rambling on about, we restore seats, we do car seats, we do sofas, we do jackets, we do handbags, we do sofa, blah, 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 blah. That people are like, let's just go to sleep, and that's the problem with it. So with it, everything, even your elevator pitch, which will be a separate thing, narrow your niche down. So narrowing your niche down, it enables you to become sharper with your marketing. So
I was going to say that, it makes everything a little bit more easier once you know exactly what route you're going down and what niche you want to be in. The marketing becomes easier because you know exactly what to post. You know who your target audience is and who you're pointing that towards. So if you want to aim at the young mums, you can aim it at the young mums. You can swap it around. You can aim at the young dads. You're still in that same
niche.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it like, do you want to be a football star? We can train you 20 minutes a day how to become the next Pele or whatever. You're narrowing the niche down again, because all of a sudden you're symbolising this individual with a very, very famous person, and it's like, I want to be him. Yeah. That's who I want to be, That's the one. 20 minutes a day. To do that, count me in. Sign me up. Right now. You've narrowed it right down. Not, do you want to be a football star to be like every other famous footballer out there in the world? It's like, well, kids have a dream about who they want to be like. Especially when it comes to football, guys.
And you can change that up. Not everybody, if they support a different team, you can be a Ronaldo, you can be a Beckham, you
Absolutely.
can be you can name all the top footballers, along the way, and it'll hit home to some little boy somewhere or little girl somewhere that
absolutely.
really wants to be that person.
So like that, what Carolynne said there, that just sort of springs something into mind. It's like you're talking to everyone, but often when you do that, you're talking to nobody. So again, narrow it down, and that is a classic scenario, because the thing is, it's like, with the fitness one here, let's look at this one here, marketing, right? Broad versus niche example once again, guys. Broad, let's have a look at this. This is where you're talking to everybody, but you're not really talking to anybody. We help businesses grow through social media. Wow. What industry sector do you specialize in? Well, we just, that's us. Everything. Right, so cooking inside out. You add about detailing inside out. About computer software inside out. How to build a car. How to build an engine. How to make a rubber tire to fit on a car. All these things. Well, no, we don't know how to do that. Well, then how can you market to my business to the audience that we want when you don't know anything about it?
Yeah.
So again, narrow it down. Here you go, niche. We help independent coffee shops attract more loyal customers through Instagram storytelling. Yep.
Yeah, so they're telling you who they're marketing to.
Yep.
They're telling you
through your local customers.
How they're going to do it.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
So let's talk about storytelling. So with storytelling, you've got to obviously audit your customers first of all, because you've got to know who they are. But we'll get onto that one in a moment. But storytelling, it helps establish, your authority in the niche. So let's just have a look at that. We're going to spin to that to the moment, and we'll come back to a couple more of these. Storytelling. Let's have a look. Car detailing business. Let's have a look. Customer transformation story. Yeah. So when we say about storytelling, this isn't like telling a story about how you got into the business. John brought in his 10-year-old BMW that he was embarrassed to park at clients' meetings. First of all, there you go. John is embarrassed to go to a meeting to earn money because his car looks bad. After a full paint correction and a ceramic coating, he told us it felt like driving a brand new car again. And he closed his big next deal with confidence. That's the power of presentation. So what you'd done there, John had come to you. You had got his car. He felt embarrassed to go and park it. He had to park around the block. So think about that. This guy's having to walk extra distance because he's embarrassed because his car looks like trash. He's got to park it round the road, out the way, because it's like, people are like, oh, what do you drive, John? People want to know what you drive. Oh, come in a taxi today, guys, to save time. Ah, okay, no problem. Smart move. Traffic's really bad in town,
Yeah, well done.
And it's like, John's thinking, whew, got away with that one. Really, John goes round the corner to his battered, beaten up, pink BMW, which should be a nice, shining, bright red. But the next meeting he goes to, he pulls up outside the offices. Yeah, I've come in my car today, guys. Wow, that looks cool. But John goes in with full confidence because he's parked outside the office. That car looks absolutely stunning. The interior is glistening. The exterior is like brand new as well. John goes in. He is full of pride. He's full of joy. He's full of motivation to go and nail that deal. So it works as a double-edged sword. Not only is that working with the guy's mental health, it's also helping him conclude a deal. But you're telling the story. People love stories. Think about that. Customers are going to be like, do you know what? Yeah, that's me. That's me. I want these guys to do this for my truck, my car, my bike, whatever it is. And again, what is it you detail? Truck, car, bike. Narrow it down. Here's a little story. When we did detailing many, many years ago, 20 odd years ago, we had a niche in our industry. Now, we would detail anything, but the one thing we specialised in with our detailing business was Mercedes-Benz. We were known, literally, no word of a lie, throughout the world. We had cars brought to us from England, from Europe, from over in Ireland, other places around the world, America, all over. We had people ship cars to us. I'm not joking, this is fact. I've got the proof just over there behind us in filing cabinets with cars we've done. Cars shipped to us from different parts of the world for us to detail in our specific niche that we were renowned for detailing, which was Mercedes-Benz. We were in every Mercedes magazine you could think of. We had a niche. We narrowed it down so we could just focus on Mercedes-Benz. Think about it, your target keywords, everything. Our website, everything. Simplified the whole process. That's the thing. We simplified the whole damn lot.
Yeah, it's just so easy to simplify, to narrow down to niche. You can, if you don't know what your niche is going to be, you can do things like you can look at the customers. So you find out. First of all, you've got to enjoy what you're doing. So pick what you really enjoy doing. Knock on the head what you don't like doing straight away. Find the customers that are prepared to pay that amount that you deserve for doing that job.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you become an expert in it, so you can demand a little bit more money.
Yeah, and then choose your people. Choose people that are easy to work with. People that are easygoing.
Yeah.
And you'll get the best results that way.
And what we mean by that is like easygoing, easy people. It's people that don't really bring you problems. So when you're detailing a car or bike or truck, boat, plane, whatever it is, they're not bringing you a problem when you've done it. They're not coming to you saying, oh, we should just done that little bit there and missed a little bit here. These are people that are easy to do business with. They're easy to get the money from. They're easy to do a transaction with. They're easy to upsell to. These are the sort of people that you want to be working with, and you will know who they are, because what you've got to do, like I said earlier, you've got to audit your customers. And what we mean by that is you've got to really narrow it down. So again, get some graphs. Get a big graph, get a big sheet of paper, pin it up on the wall, like our backdrop here. Nice big white piece of paper, pin it up on the backboard, and write your customers down and actually narrow and niche them down. Which ones give you a headache? Which ones do you always think, it's her or him ringing again?
Do some pros and cons. If you can't, list out the best things about that person or that job or that niche, and the worst things. And you're going to easy tell from that. Make yourself a spreadsheet or write it on any way you want to do it that works best for you.
Whatever's
just work
best.
out which.
Because the thing is, what it's going to do with creating this chart, if anybody wants an example, please inbox us, message us on here, on this video, message us, tell us you want to inbox us, we'll get you an inbox us, and we'll get you an example of, one of our charts that we've got that'll help you to help you grow your business. That's what we're about. All this stuff is free of charge, guys. We're here to try to help people grow and scale your business. So with it, what you've got to try to do with what Carolynne was saying with that, you've got to do like almost like a micro test with that. So again, with narrowing your niche, it's going to bring you down to where your ideal customers are. Ideal, not the masses, the ideal customers, which is what a podcast we did the other day, is bring your ideal customers down. It's a bit similar to narrowing your niche. Your ideal customers is who you want to do business with. Find out who your ideal clients are, and you can market and do business with them. And the thing is, it narrows down your spend on PPC because you have a much smaller audience, sort of demographic, to actually market to, rather than marketing to everyone or the masses. You're not Google. You've got to remember that. You're not Facebook, where you're marketing to the masses and then narrowing the ideal customer. Google, obviously, the masses is the world. The ideal customer is the one that's going to spend money on PPC. That is their ideal customer. So you've got to sort of bear that in mind. Now, with this, when you sort of create this graph and this chart, it's going to really make a few things resonate and hit home with you, because you're going to be suddenly going through this and you're going to have the almost like the problem list, the okay list, the really nice list, okay? So the problem is, you're going to start looking at them thinking, do I really want this problem list?
Can do without that.
Can I really do without that if I can get more of these guys over here? Because I bet you haven't got that. You've probably got it every time the phone rings, you're thinking, here's the problem again. Have the list. Simplify, make the list.
Is there a customer that when you see them calling, you're like,
not again.
Really
I hate that car. It's always trashed and they want it for nothing, So again, niche it down. Do you really want this?
It works well together, doesn't it? So you've got a niche there of jobs, of services, of whatever you provide on that hand of the scale, and then you've got an ideal audience on this side of the scale. And I think once you've narrowed down one or the other, you get both. Because that kind of audience will bring you that kind of job and only that job. And that kind of job, on the other hand as well, will bring you that kind of audience. So they do work. They work hand in hand. You pick your favourite people.
In effect, basically.
You'll kind of realise that they've all got similar cars, whatever it is you're doing. So the one doing one job gets the other job cracked at the same time.
Yeah. So again, it's the thing is, you've got to look at it, because even though you might have 20 customers over here and 5 customers over here, this is the bad ones, okay? The ones that you're thinking every time they ring, it's like, oh, it's them again. It's with the wagon, it's always full of sticky sweets, it's full of this, I don't want to turn it down because I've done it for a couple of years. But the thing is, these 5 are actually weighing you down like this, and it should be the opposite way, and they're actually weighing you down because they're wearing you out. And why do you want to get worn out with 5 of these cars down here when you've got 20 over here that's going to really, tip the scale, and really make it bounce back for you? You want to chuck them off, get them out the door, get rid of them.
Even if they do make you a little bit more money.
Yeah, doesn't really matter.
It's worth getting 3 more of these guys.
Yep, that bring you happiness and
because
peace.
Once you've got more time to service those guys are going to tell their friends, and you will get more of those jobs. If you're marketing to just that sector, you will get more jobs of that description of your ideal job.
Yeah, it's a bit like we do with our free initiative hub that we have for kids, which is called the Y Hub. And we had our meeting last night, and we were talking about this, and it's like, it's like being an accountant. Again, here you go. We go back to this, broad. I want a job as an accountant. Okay, that's cool. In an accountant's office, or do you want to be an accountant in a motor mechanic workshop? Do you want to be an accountant in a medical workshop? Do you want to be an accountant working for, someone building software, someone making gearboxes, someone making tyres? Where do you want to be an accountant for? Do you want to be an accountant in a firm of lawyers? The thing is, what sector of the industry do you want to be an accountant in? Because sometimes certain sectors can demand more money than others. And the thing is, do you want to be a bookkeeper? Do you want to be an accountant? Do you want to be like an approved accountant? Do you want to be a chartered accountant? Do you want to be a legal accountant? Do you want to be a forensic accountant? The list goes on and on and on. How far do you want to go? Narrow it down. Where do you want to be? Focus on what you want. Earn the money. Very, very simple. Why start saying, I want to be right up here, and you find it's an absolute headache, and you're like, I really hate this job because it's so much hard work. I just can't ever get up to the top of the ladder. I just can't get to be this level of the accountant. I just can't ever get there. I've had enough. I'm going to jack it in and go and find another trade. So again, you spent all those years trying to do something, and because you wanted to be up here and you didn't really find the thing that you wanted to do, you've screwed your whole life up because of it. So again, narrow the niche down, guys. So once you've got that niche narrowed down, it allows you to focus on less. Instead of focusing on the masses, you can focus on less. So it makes the marketing better. It makes your PPC better. It makes the content that you're giving out in advertising more crisper and more precise to the exact market that you want to get. But if you audit your clients, which is basically what we've said there, it's like, who pays the most? Yeah, that's another one. It's like, who is the easiest to sort of work with? Like Carolynne said earlier, who is the easiest to work with, which is what we've just basically said to you. It's about, auditing your clients. Once you've found out which is best, audit your clients. Who brings you the best sort of joy? Work it out, by narrowing down your client list. How many of you have actually sat down and physically said, here's all my clients, this is what they do? Do you know exactly all the cars? How often do they change them? How frequently? What colours are they? Do they have any special trips they go on that certain times of the year that makes the car harder to detail? Do you know when they're going to be bringing that in? All these things you should know in your business to make your business run absolutely tickety-boo without any hiccups whatsoever. And the thing is, you don't. Let's have another look at one of the storytelling, leather restoration business examples. So in our industry, it's a heritage story. So a client brought us her grandmother's leather armchair, the one that she remembers reading as a child. So she sat there, grandmother, kid on her grandmother's knee, being given a story. Yeah, this brings back memories, of grandma. It brings back memories of grandpa in their home as a kid. All this storytelling. The kid is absolutely transfixed and besottedly in love, with grandma. Having this story told, little kiddie, little, nursery rhyme stories or whatever. And, you read this out and it just goes on. So the leather was cracked, faded and forgotten. After careful restoration, it now sits proudly in her living room. carrying memories into the next generation, guys. We don't just fix leather, we restore history. Yeah? Now, another example to that is leather restoration company. You know, it's like, you know, we just restored this lady's armchair for her. It used to belong to her grandma, and she's absolutely thrilled and over the moon. That doesn't really wrench at this, does it? It doesn't really tell a story. You know, how is that not a story? A client, let me read it out to you exactly. A client brought us her grandmother's leather armchair, the one she remembers reading on as a child. The leather was cracked, faded and forgotten. After careful restoration, it now sits proudly in her living room, carrying those memories into the next generation. We don't just fix leather, guys, we restore history. Doesn't that sound great? So again, tell the story with everything that you do. Maybe it's old, you know, somebody from the war, an old war jacket. It's like, yeah, this guy was a bomber in the war. You know, it got shot up, it got beaten up, it's been trashed over the years. We've restored it and brought it back to life for a family member. That's not really, you know, thrilling, is it, to be fair? So you've got to build a story around that. This guy was a fighter, he saved our country. You know, this guy was amazing, he took 20 other planes out. This guy was a hero for our country. He came home to a massive welcome, wearing this jacket that saved this guy's life, you know, in the war. He walked up with proudness, and then, you know, obviously as life came on, you know, he passed it down to his family members. You know, that tells a story. You know, we fixed the bullet holes, we fixed this, and we made it back to where it was when this guy first went into the army, you know, as a pilot. That's a story, you know. Just saying it's like, yeah, this was a jacket from World War II and we just fixed it for one of his distant relations.
Yeah, just showing a picture.
You know what I mean? Just showing a picture of it. You're not really telling a story. So again, you're telling a story. It enables you to narrow down your niche. So can you imagine things like that? Antique products, really rare. You are then narrowing your niche down into a really nice sort of sector where you are going to get a very steady flow of work coming through of antique things where you can demand more money to restore it because they take more time to restore compared to a modern seat. So it's not just that you're getting more money because it's an antique thing and it's got a story behind it. You're getting more money because it takes more time to restore. So it's better to restore that and have this massive glory of this huge story that you can tell at the end of it, with this proud relation that now, like, this was my grandpa. He made our country what it is today because he literally fought through the war and he was my hero, you know? There you go. Tells a story, doesn't it? And that's what you've got to do, and have that person there.
Getting to the emotional.
It's getting to the emotional side.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Everybody can
relate to that.
Yeah, relate to a story like that. Everybody's got a little story. Remembers, you know, most people remembers grandma
from photographs. You know, from maybe mum and dad showing grandpa, you know, the photographs or whatever. So it literally, and you can say, there he is in this photo. This is him wearing it, and now I'm wearing it. You know, and you're proud that you got grandpa's jacket on. You know, from the flying in the war or whatever. So find a story to tell, and it really helps to deliver that message, to narrow that down. But, you know, we're going to do another one a bit more about, you know, storytelling and sort of build on that within the detailing and leather industry, a hell of a lot more than just a couple that we've done here. But, you know, there is so much more that we could go on to and deal with. But let's have a look at a couple here. This book here is like our library of things, guys. It's a massive sort of library of storytelling. So let's have a look. Let's look at, funnily enough, let's have a look at this. You know, we do a lot of business coaching, so here we are. You know, we're helping coach you guys. So, broad versus niche, whatever you want to call it. Coaching, broad. I'm a business coach. What did we tell you at the beginning of this? Yeah? I'm a business coach, but at the beginning of this, what did we tell you? We coach within the leather restoration and detailing industries only. That is it. So, niche. I coach tradespeople who are stuck on the tools to step back, hire a team and scale their businesses beyond the van. So that obviously tells you straight away they are a tradesperson that's probably going out, maybe building a wall, putting a roof on a house, maybe fixing leather, and their business is growing and they want to spend more time working, you know, instead of being working in the business, they want to work on the business now because they've got a team that they're building and they can earn even more money and they want to work on the business. So we literally narrowed that niche down to show you how we can coach you as a tradesperson to stop working on the tools, step back and get out of that van and work in the office. So we've literally narrowed our market right down, just like we've done with this podcast. leather restoration, detailing, that is it. That's all we talk about. Well, we might sort of, reference to other industries, but that is our niche. It gives you examples, guys. It is our niche of where we are. And the reason why we have that niche, I've got over 40 years experience in that industry. And Carolynne's got like 30 odd years experience in that industry. We've been there, worn the t-shirt, gone hell for leather, done the whole damn lot, detailed all sorts of cars, planes, boats, cruise ships. We've done everything you can possibly think of. Motorbikes, the whole damn lot, push bikes, everything, prams, golf buggies, we've done it all. And we've been there with the pitfalls, we've been there with the highs, the lows. We've seen industries change, considerably change. From basically an angle grinder with a polishing pad on it that had just one gear that went at 20,000 miles an hour to all sorts of, porter cables and then all over to other different machines. So we've been there, done it, and worn the t-shirt inside out. So we don't portray to know everything, but we certainly know quite a lot in our industry, and we talk from experience, and that's what's valuable. We talk from experience. I'm hoping you found it useful. I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to add further to it, or if there's anything you've sort of forgotten about.
No, I think we've covered everything we had.
Yeah, I think the only other one really is just like I just said there, is like specialist. Be the specialist, guys. Yeah. So again, what does that mean? You're narrowing your niche down, aren't you? So you be the specialist and you narrow that niche down. It's all very, very similar.
Like we said, it follows on. Once you've chosen, you can choose it any which way you like, but once you've chosen the route you want to go down, the specialist route, it's not the broad, it's the niche.
Yep.
Once you get there, everything else will fall into place. So you'll get the customers that you really want to get, and you'll get the items to work on, the service you want to provide from those customers as well.
Yeah.
It all gels, it all joins together.
Literally all gels together, and it's this is our library. I mean, this is just some of them here, but there's quite a lot in here. There's quite a couple of hundred in here, but we call this our growth guides, and these are like little snippets of information. So it could be things like here. Let's just talk about this one here, guys. Dark days and storms. When things get tough, most people turn and run instead of facing them head on. And the thing is, if you faced them head on, you would get through the storm, because the storm is only temporary. And the thing is, it's like with business success. Most people quit when they were at that point of success, but it was slapping them in the face and they didn't notice it. Quite a common thing that we see. Yep. And that's what this library is full of them.
Deal with the storm, and it won't be a storm next time.
And it's something we've been asked by a couple of people, guys, and we are going to do a discussion about this, and we will come back to that, because obviously, again, I am trained in mental health, so fully trained and certificated with that. We've had a couple of people that are like, I want to stop overthinking. I want to just stop thinking that everybody's out to get me. I just want to think that I'm not any good, and I'm not as good as what I should be, and is it going to go wrong? Instead of thinking, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Screw it, let's do it. Like Richard Branson says with his book, screw it, let's do it, And it's just, that's what you've got to do. And it's, screw it, do it, end of. Don't even think about it, guys. I know that's easy for me to say, but it takes time to nurture you through that. And again, we're going to help you with that video that we're going to do. So it's going to be a video to help you become the positive person that you are. But that's another one that we're going to do. As I say, we're also going to do the elevator pitch one. There's several. We've got so much stuff lined up that we're going to come. Because every time we do one of these shows, we just think of so many millions of things. And I'm going to start bringing a notepad with me, because as I get these down, I'm going to start writing them down, because some of them I've even forgotten about, because we've had some corkers that we want to do.
We'll have to watch everything
and I've forgotten. We're going to have to literally just watch everything to know what we've said on these, and how we're going to do a podcast like that. So, but we want you. So here's the trick, guys. We want to interview you. We want to interview you about your business. So if you don't want it to go live, that's absolutely fine. We won't put it out onto YouTube or anything like that. If you just want us to record it, and then you can listen back to it, so you can listen to the things, because you will forget. Trust me, you will forget.
Yeah.
We will do that. We will honour that and keep that completely private, and we'll never put it out there. So if you want to do that, and you want to come on and do this with a call, and you want to talk to us about your business, just like we are now, please bear in mind, we are going to be brutal, because we have to be to get the message to hit home. It's not about belittling you or making you look stupid.
No, it's making you realise.
It's making you realise where you've gone wrong. So, we are going to be doing things, and when you're going to start talking about doing things, I'm just going to say, why? But why? Stop it. Why? And it's like, tell me why. It's not good enough. just do it. Stop it. You know, so we're going to be quite brutal like that because it's the only way that we're going to be able to get you to realise. Now, whether you want to call that brutal or not, it's entirely up to you. But I call it very constructive. It's honest, constructive advice is what we're doing. So if you want to come on one of these shows, please do inbox us, message, whatever. Let's get you on. Let's get you on. Let's get it sorted. You can then listen back to it, or we can put it out on YouTube and the world can listen to it. But at the end of the day, guys, never be embarrassed about anything. We all grow. These will get better what we do. The first ones we did, you know, I look at them and think, bloody hell, okay. But we've got better and better. It's like with everything. You get better as you go. And as we progress along, you know, when we get another 10 years down the line, we are going to be even better than what we are today. We're going to be absolutely nailing it with so much information because we're going to learn as we go along from talking to different people. That's exactly how it goes. We're not embarrassed about that. We're not frightened about that. I'm not scared about that. I don't care what people think about that. You can think what you like. That's how it is, guys. We all got to start somewhere and grow. Very, very simple. We've narrowed our niche. Detailing, leather restoration, because it's what we do and it's what we love and it's what we focus on. It's exactly what we know. It's pointless me talking to you about a podcast about finance because I haven't got a clue. Now, I say that as our business grows and we scale with what plans we've got, as we get further down the line and we've got finance directors and everything else in, then because we will be dealing with a lot more finances with different companies, with the property company and everything else, then I can talk to you about finances because I will be a lot more versed and educated to talk to you about that. For the time being, we talk leather, we talk detailing or restoration, whatever you want to call it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do, here's the usual shameless plugs. Comment, like, share, subscribe. I don't care, you know, we'll just do this. So comment, like, subscribe, share, do whatever you want to do. Please get on there. Give us some love, give us some respect.
Give us some feedback.
We want feedback. Are these useful to you? Do you like them? Let's do more of them. Let's hear your stories as well. I want to hear your stories about your business stories. I want to interview some people about your business story, the journey that you've been on, because that's going to be one of the next ones I'm doing with Carolynne. One of the next ones we're going to do is, you know, right from the beginning of Carolynne at the start when she was 16 years old when I first met her and going through. And I'm not going to tell you how old she is now because she might just admit, whack me around the face. I'm Richard, guys, from the R&C Growth Lab. Maybe no longer.
I'm Carolynne from the R&C Growth Lab.
So there you go. Thanks very much. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, comment, inbox us. We want to interview you. See you next time. Go hell for leather, guys.